It's that time again, this time behind the scenes of Season 4. Hello, welcome back everyone. This is Asha Media TV, and for those of you that are new here, welcome. My name is Asha. This is my channel where I like to watch, react, and review a variety of stuff related to sci-fi, fantasy, and comic books. So, in today's video, since I've finished watching all 10 episodes of Season 4 of The Expanse, I am going to dive into just a handful of behind-the-scenes videos, fan-made videos related to the show up until the point that I've reached. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm also working on my episode ranking, of course, for Season 4. Those of you that are familiar, you know, that's the way I roll after every season, so look out for that coming shortly. And if you're ready to watch me react to these awesome videos, then keep on watching. Let's get to the first one right now. Alright people, so first video up here for you is The Expanse Season 4 Bloopers and Outtakes from Amazon Prime Video. And you know the drill, links in the description box to the original video sourced from YouTube. Okay, let's count down to play. 3, 2, 1. Let's start laughing, I hope.
Wow, so I'm just flipping the switches, seeing what lights come on. Right now, that's a flip I can't switch.
A switch you can't flip.
Yeah, well, either or, you know.
Or, you know, yeah.
You don't get to speak for me or decide what's beneath me.
Bobby.
Everything you have was brought by the people who fucking...
Stop it!
I'm coming. I'll see you. Sorry.
The worst when you're trying to be so serious, too.
That doesn't give you the right to play blood... Oh, sorry.
Where are we going?
I want to see Mercury trip up.
Florida. We're going to Florida.
We're going to Florida! We're going to
First
Disney World.
gift.
Or Disneyland. I forget which one's which.
Super stuck, start. Keep on. Go back.
You forgot your glove. Shit.
The woman who never even wanted this job in the first place.
Oh!
Didn't get it.
Gosh, how many times did they have to do that one?
You were using me tonight. Just like...
Lots of dancing on this one.
Did you hear that? I was so afraid.
I wouldn't count on them giving up.
At this point, I'm not sure he's wrong.
I've got a line. Another line.
Yeah,
Stephen,
you've
can you
got a
just
line.
calm down?
I can't, I'm too excited.
Oh, okay.
Fucking coke, man.
We're scraping a bit more atmosphere than we calculated at this hour.
Cold.
Fuck.
800 kilometers from first landing.
I'm not surprised.
Line? How in the hell?
It's a long story, I'll tell you all about it.
Fuck.
Accidentally leave one in the storage. Fuck.
Thank goodness the bartender was eavesdropping dropping because we racked up truck. Sorry.
I believe she's drunk just from that.
How did you forget that line?
But he's not. But he's still.
I love music, man.
Oh, kitty cat!
My dear friend, Admiral Michael Sauder, died. I jumped in the middle of it. I jumped, and this is it. He died. He died in defense of Earth and Mars and the greater truth
Oh,
that
fly.
unites us.
Yeah, that's totally me. In fact, a little bit more violent. I hate flies. Oh, okay. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. Not much really to it than that. All right. I was hoping for a little bit more bloopers than that, to be honest. But no worries, no worries. It's all good. Okay, so I have the next video coming up for you. I don't have much to say except for I wish it was slightly funnier. And if you know of other bloopers related to season 4 that Amazon has not put out, well, I guess Amazon's the only place that would put it out officially. So anyway, it was okay. It was okay. On to the next video, people. Okay, so this next video is titled The Expanse Season 4 Behind the Scenes 2019. And it's from the channel called Series Trailer MP. And it's very short, 1 minute and 5 seconds. So I'm curious to know how much more behind the scenes is this one going to show. Okie dokie, so let's go. Let's press play. 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go. And action.
We're really sorry that we're missing New York Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. Hello, Twitterverse fans, Expanse fans. We have begun shooting season 4.
It's been an amazing ride to get here.
Everyone's getting ready to shoot a scene with Drummer.
We're so excited to tell these stories for you guys.
Right now, we are in Amos's machine shop, so welcome to my home. It's like cribs.
Yeah, right.
Definitely got some new looks, that's for sure, obviously. I have a new outfit, so that's great.
It's just a wonderful thing to be back with this group
So
of people.
weird to
It
see
was
her.
like we'd never left.
We're so grateful for the fans and what you've done for us, and thankful to be working with Amazon.
We'll have some really fun and exciting stuff to show you.
Come on the journey with us. Here we go.
All right. That was short and sweet. Definitely very short and sweet. Like a little too short. Not enough sweetness. All right, next video, people. Coming up. Another one from Amazon Prime Video. This one is called The Expanse Season 4 Superfans Behind the Scenes. And it's about almost 4 minutes long. I'm assuming it's going to be a bunch of fans meeting up with the cast and crew. These are super fans, right? Right? All right. Let's see. 3, 2, 1, play. When fans of The Expanse heard that the series had been canceled, they rallied together in an extraordinary campaign, and it worked. All right, let me pause to read it, actually. In early 2019, The Expanse invited some of the leaders of the campaign to come witness the result of their efforts for themselves. Nice, okay. Let's keep going. Right. This is what they saw.
Hey, it's Cass Anbar here. Very special day today. Something is rushing in right here to Toronto. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some super fans.
How many?
Hey, how you doing? Congratulations, guys, and we thank you.
You guys saved our show, thanks for that. We're so happy to have jobs, all of us.
We're just happy we have our show back.
Yeah.
Today, you get to see behind the scenes of the show that you guys saved.
Awesome.
All right, let's
So
go
it's
to the
just the three
production
of them?
office where it all happens before the cameras go
There was a
on.
woman there.
Hi, good to meet you. Welcome aboard. Hi there.
Here's the CEO of our company. Hello. And obviously, the most important department, payroll.
I definitely work for
Payroll.
So you get to decide whether or not to use any of my shenanigans.
How much of your shenanigans?
How much of my shenanigans?
Check this out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look who's here. Manny
It's so
DeLong.
fitting to have Alex as the host.
My little friend.
Oh, nice.
What do we got here?
We simulate the sets and show the director what he's going to be shooting.
I'm the prop master on the show. My job is to find things and look at it differently.
This is a power room.
If you piss them off, they can kill you.
Narain is our commander-in-chief. This gentleman has not had any time off since we started.
He needs a vacation.
What's next? So this is where we make everyone
I'm
look
so curious to see what they end
amazing.
up seeing.
I'm Joanne.
This is our costume designer.
I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see
Okay,
if they
I'm
could get
totally
into
jelly
a
for this
costume.
alone.
Shall we go to the fitting room?
Yes.
Let's get you guys suited up.
I'm gonna MCR in myself a bit.
I'm telling you, if I had to redo my life all over again, I would have gotten into costume designing and stuff.
Well done. Okay.
And now the tour continues.
Let's go, soldiers.
Holy crap.
They got on the ship part!
Wow.
Welcome.
It's so much cooler than I thought it was going to look like. Holy.
This is so cool.
Here comes the juice.
Get all the pictures you can get.
Holy crap. This is unreal, man. Holy.
Oh my God.
Okay, outfit. Surprise.
How you doing?
Finding our ship.
It's kind of
My ship.
incredible.
I literally can't take you seriously.
Being real here is like, it's so surreal, it's out of this world.
To be able to get here and meet with all of the people, the nuts and bolts.
It's like a dream come true. You allowed us to see your world, and it's incredible and amazing, and I love everyone here.
So, did they just like
what humanity will look like in 200 years, the Expanse gives you an answer.
Or?
Everyone is on the same page about the show. That's what
How did they
drove
pick
the
the
campaign.
winners?
This has been a crazy journey, and then coming here today and just seeing the impact, it's pretty special.
Cool. Thank you to those winners. If they're the ones that, well, it's a group effort altogether, right? Either way, that was really cool. Neato. Okay, so, not much to say there except for that's really cool. I mean, from anybody who's had a show canceled, especially abruptly, it's one of the worst feelings you can have as a fan. And so I'm always just really impressed with any kind of effort that wins out over the bureaucratic stuff to get back, things going. The last time I know myself joined a campaign to save a show was for Lucifer. I'm a huge fan of that show, and so when it was canceled, let me tell you, I wish they had some kind of contest like that. That I'm not aware of one anyway, where we could have tried to meet the cast and stuff. But I was part of my own little group trying to do our part where we could to save that show, and it was amazing. It was such a great feeling to know that every small effort counted to having our voices heard, and the show is back on the air. Anyway, next video is going to be a little longer, but more in depth with the Expanse stuff behind the scenes that I was able to get suggested to me. Okay, coming up. Okay, so this video is a lot longer than the ones I've been watching. This one is the longest one, actually, that I'm watching. It's called The Cinematography of the Expanse, Camera and Lighting Breakdown. It's from the channel Indie Mogul. And thank you to You Know Who You Are, for privacy reasons I won't say your name, for suggesting for me to be ready to watch this video now that I finished season 4. I like in-depth behind-the-scenes stuff, so if you're not willing to watch me watch this longer video, as a reminder, timestamps in a description box for you to move around wherever you want. But I'm going to watch this one, so let's get to it. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
This is all in camera. This shot's entirely in camera.
Oh, so cool.
Where basically we rotated the camera. All we did was remove the wires. That really is him stepping off the stairs and doing that tumble. For us, we're trying to be super faithful to zero gravity as much as possible. We don't typically use the Steadicam as a zero gravity tool because it doesn't look nodal.
Equipment is expensive.
What is going on, Indie Mogul? My name is Ted, and today we're breaking into the cinematography of The Expanse, which, if you haven't seen it yet, is one of the coolest looking shows online. And to talk about this, we're talking with Jeremy Benning, CSC, cinematographer behind the show, and actually breaking into a couple of the scenes and talking about how the lighting and rigging actually went for each scene. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
There's a planet on the other side of the ring. A group of Belter refugees has claimed it as their home.
Alrighty, so starting off with The Expanse, obviously a huge budget sci-fi TV show, but can you talk a little bit about how you found the visual style?
Sure. Well, I think in the beginning, the discussions that we had in the first season about the look and the feel was to have it feel grounded and real. We wanted to feel like a real place, that these were working ships. You know, we referenced oil rigs, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, real working environments where there's grit and dirt. Some of these places are 100 or more years old at that point. So there's a certain baked-in age factor to them. And, you know, we wanted to make sure that depending on the place we were in, some are older than others. So we were very conscious of the utilitarian nature of the place. So what actually goes on there? How do people work and live there? And how old is it? Northfront took those ideas and made concept art that was with our production design team with Seth Reed in the first season, and came up with sort of this look and style. And that kind of informed me of like, how do we light these things to represent that feel? When we came to designing the lighting and the built-in lights, we kind of use those as kind of influences of like, how advanced is this technology? How much is the lighting built in? It's architecturally more kind of sculpted into the set. And that was a combination of the set designers and the art and the concept artists, and then, you know, me getting involved with them and kind of figuring out, well, how do we have to light the set from a just practical, we have to light it standpoint, but also that the lighting that we see when we see it in the shot, like, fits with that philosophy of that place. A lot of the light in the main flight deck is from the floor, and it creates this sort of little more serious kind of like ominous kind of thing. The Belter world was often more toppy, task lighting, kind of like lights that were stuck into the ceiling. Earth was a little more softer and gentle and kind of more side lit, because we had so many sets that
changes the tone completely.
That you had at least some starting point of, okay, well, this is Belter, like, lean towards this method of putting the lights into the set. It's Martian, go, you know, this way, and so on.
For the show, as far as picking the visual style too, what camera and lens package did you choose?
We started with the Red Dragon because at the time the Alexa Mini didn't exist. Because the Movi was a very important tool in the beginning that we wanted to utilize a lot for our zero-G work, the Alexa was too big. You couldn't put an Alexa on a Movi. Once the Mini had come out after season 1, we switched to Mini, and we've been with the Mini ever since. But our lens package has basically been the Cooke S5s. They're a little sharper, but not as sharp as Master Primes. They have that extra stop. For our show, you know, being future-based, we wanted that really harsh crispness. A lot of our environments, we didn't use haze, which is counter to what most people are doing these days, because it would sort of betray the cleanliness of the space or a vacuum environment or whatever. So we made a decision early on to, like, very little diffusion in the camera and almost no haze, unless there's like a battle sequence with fire and stuff like that. So that became our choice, and you know, that just became the look of the show.
Alrighty, are you ready to jump into some scenes?
Yes, let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
That's all we are to the Earthers and Dusters. They built their solar system on our backs.
This was our like big intro to Ceres Station, which is an asteroid colony. Basically, immediately introduced to the aesthetic of the Belters, this sort of like bohemian hippie style of costume.
Bohemian,
you know, a bit kind of mixture of different fabrics, and of course this sense of this real bohemian market. That whole sequence we just saw was like a long one take, going from one part of a set through a visual effect element, and then a technocrane shot that came down into this big market space to reveal Thomas Jane's character for the first time. There's the technocrane shot, and then the foreground elements are still visual effects, and then now we're fully into the technocrane shot. So once we get really low, the second level you see above the first level is all of it a set extension, visual effects wise. So everything that's on the first level is real.
That's still an enormous set.
It's a massive set, and all those tunnels you can see going off into the distance were practical and real. And we had
manage
probably
the talent
200
on there
extras.
all day.
Any of the light you see in here, you don't really get a sense that it's the sun. It has to all be artificial. It's a combination of color and like neonness. I believe we had 2 or 3 12 by 12 like soft boxes that were all on pulleys that could be angled, and a combination of sky panels and like light tools, like egg crates on them, so that the light would only go downwards. We didn't want to light the walls. Then you've got these pools of hard light that are actually coming from like robotic, remotely controlled stage lights. That cyan kind of light on him is from one of those robotic lights. And then in the background, you can see behind him, there's like those kind of shapes that are lit up. We had a whole series of like Roscoe pads that we had basically custom made that were used to backlight graphics that the art department made. And then we were able to dim them to camera so that they wouldn't burn out, you know, so you could kind of dial them to the shot to make sure that you could still see the graphics and it wasn't like a hot white. I should mention, like, Ken Weeb, our dimmer board programmer, everything in this set is controlled by him. We would often have shots where, you know, you look one direction, you want to have backlight, he would hit the cues of like having one light dim down while another one dims up as the camera pans. So it was common. We would often have cues built in.
Okay, well, I think there's a good amount of built-in lighting in the next scene, so ready to move on?
Sure.
Oh, no. Give me the word.
Their silent running mode, we called it, which is basically like where they've got everything off, so they're kind of like signature dark to, you know, being detected. So you see the ship, and then it goes into battle mode here, which is blue, which is interesting. Again, that's a Ken Weeb lighting cue on the console. And the reason for that is that when we did our research in the beginning, we found out that, you know, American battleships on their command decks, when they go into battle mode, they go blue. All the flashing light that's going on there is a combination of Ken making the lights in the set flash. Ken had this whole method of designing like Fritz patterns that we would save, and we could go back and recall them whenever we wanted to.
So when you first read the scene and
That's
script,
handy.
what did you know that you had to try to craft visually?
They're in helmets, they're getting shot at, so there's going to be camera shake. Reading the script, you're starting to think, okay, well, what are all the different lighting cues that I'm going to have to think of for this scene? The scripts are actually quite descriptive. They usually tell us when they go into battle mode. So this set has hundreds of lights in it. The set is filled with LED all throughout the walls, the ceiling, and the floor. Almost all of them are RGBW, so you can basically make any color that you want. We have like a default look for the Rossi, which is sort of a neutral look, and then from there we have our red mode, we have our blue mode. You know, the nice thing is that because the actors in this case are wearing helmets, their faces are lit with neutral light. If you don't have a white point reference, you actually start to lose the sense of the color. So if the whole frame was just blue or red, and there's nothing else in there that's white, after a while your eye starts to color balance itself and you don't see the color anymore. So we always make sure that when we go into these modes, there's something in the set that's still white. So the floor in this case doesn't change, and whenever we go into any color change mode, the floor always stays white.
Got it. Can you talk to me a little bit about those helmets?
So Jim Murray is our prop master, and his team did a great job. The thing about them is these helmets have an air system in them, so there's air.
Is there like
there's microphones in them. There's
not
earbuds
a
so they
toy,
can hear, and then
but
of course the lighting. We have the forehead
version
light,
you
the
can
cheek
buy
light,
as a
and the
fan,
chin
you
light.
know?
And each one of those lights is individually controlled via wireless DMX. So Ken controls that on the board. The actors in this case, when they're wearing them, they can't hear us on set because they're wearing this thing. And of course, they can't hear each other, so they have contacts with earbuds. The only way we can talk to them is with a microphone. So myself and the director usually have a mic, so that if we want to give them instructions, we give them it over the mic, and then they can hear each other as actors over the earbuds as well. It's a whole process. There's a whole props team and lighting team and a sound team that's dedicated to just handling the helmets when they come out. The helmets are such a thing.
It's expensive as hell, too. Everything's expensive on these sets.
So Alex is basically by himself, and he's kind of like had a few drinks, he's singing to himself, and you can see all the empty cans floating around. For us, we're trying to be super faithful to zero gravity as much as possible, and getting out of a chair like he's doing right now is actually tricky. So he has to get up in a way that doesn't look like he's pushing himself out of the chair. Mikhail Solomon directed this episode, who of course was the DP on The Abyss and Backdraft. I have huge respect for Mikhail, and this was actually kind of his concept, having Alex kind of does a flip off the stairs here. And this is where he's on wire, so he's actually doing this pivot. This is all in camera. This shot is entirely in camera.
Oh, so cool.
That was basically a 3-axis lambda head, where basically we rotated the camera with him. So when he did his move, Jason, the operator, rotated the camera to follow Alex. All we did was remove the wires. That really is him stepping off the stairs and doing that tumble. One of our cues we use for zero gravity is we always have the camera
how many takes of that he did?
nodally slightly rotating on its axis. You're not seeing anything zero gravity in the scene because the actors are standing with their mag boots on the floor. There's nothing floating in the shot. We want to make sure the audience knows subconsciously when we're in zero gravity. So anytime there's zero gravity, we just rotate the frame very slightly, like really, really slowly. So you're getting this real sense of like the frame is slowly turning. We watched a lot of like NASA zero gravity footage from the space station. We studied that, and you can tell when they're moving the camera around in there, if they let it go for a bit, you can really feel that perfectly nodal float.
Your hair.
Steadicam as is, and you try and like make the horizons go off, it's not nodal because the pivot point for the Steadicam is actually down where the gimbal is and the lens is up here. That's why we don't typically use the Steadicam as a zero gravity tool, because it doesn't look nodal.
That's fantastic. Next clip, let's do this. Here we go.
Season 3.
Now, the reason I wanted to bring this clip in here is because not all of the show obviously takes place in space. So tell us what's going on in this scene first.
So this is the character Anna Volovodov. She is going to the UN to have a meeting, and there's a riot going on outside of the UN in New York. So this was shot on a real location in Toronto, downtown, and we had a couple hundred extras, and this was basically an exercise in making the crowd look bigger than it is. It was like we had not a lot of time for this scene, so the most efficient way possible was to use natural light as much as we could. So choose the direction where the light is nice, and time of day. This is kind of like a courtyard in downtown Toronto. We worked with what was there and added to it with our own set deck stuff. So like that lamppost you see is there, but the plastic kind of shield things are not. This is one of those days where, because typically we're a 2-camera show, but every so often we'll bring in a 3rd camera. So as we're shooting the coverage of the scene, that 3rd camera can almost act like a splinter and go off and just get details of the crowd. Think of yourself as a documentary unit. Go and shoot this documentary style and think of like you're at a riot getting news coverage. That's kind of your approach.
What is the key to making a crowd look bigger than it really is?
It's that whole cone of the lens, right? Of like making sure that you're putting people in that angle of view. Bring as many people close as you can, and then as they get further away, you kind of taper them in, so you're not wasting people off to the sides. The philosophy is still that the Earth is kind of still polluted. The skies are not pristine anymore. It's not as dirty as our space
I remember
environment.
his name.
It feels like Earth, but it's not clean. It's
Batman.
not super pretty. But it's definitely a
call him.
departure from space and from our belter environments. And we tried to make sure that whenever we go to Earth, it's an opportunity for the audience to have a bit of a breathing moment. You're out of that claustrophobicness of our small spaceship sets and stuff. And remember, there is that contrast of Earth, that Earth is an open space. You see there's trees, there's green. You don't see trees or greenery anywhere in our space environments for the most part. When you cut to this from the other scenes, you're like, whoa, like we're suddenly like on Earth. In the flow of the show, this is really actually quite jarring.
Now, real quick, let's talk about Squarespace, which at this point everybody should be using to make their cinematography.
Okay, I'm
reel.
skipping
You
this.
could probably get away with just having your reel automatically.
All right, let's skip past Squarespace. I forget that they have their sponsors for stuff, huh? Ooh, okay, let's see. How far do I need to go? Wait, no, he's still talking? I think it's at this point here. Wait, let me just quickly check here. Are there timestamps? Yes, there are. Okay, let's, oh gosh, where were we? I don't even know. I am so sorry. Let me see here. Nope, past that. Are we finished completely? Oh, no, that's Earthly Protest. Okay, we're at this one. All right. My bad. Alrighty. Let's keep going.
So this scene, the tricky thing about the scene was it was shot in different segments. The Rossi consists of multiple set pieces. The first shot of her leaving the cargo bay, that's a set piece, that's real. When she tumbles into space, there's a digi-double moment. So digi-double meaning that it's a CG version of her. But then the next shot where the camera's looking down on her, that is real, and
That's in camera?
The Rossi, of course, that's CG, but she's really in camera. That's her on wires on a blue screen. The camera's above her looking down. Quite often we don't move the actor. We use the camera to move by them. So in this case, the Technocrane's actually coming down towards her.
Man of Steel!
The trick about this was keeping track of where the sun was, because we shot this in like 3 different chunks. In the previous shot, when she leaves the ship, the sun is kind of coming from her left. This next shot was shot like a week later in our blue screen stage, which is a different place. The sun has to be in the same place, and it has to have the same intensity. We love using, again, those robotic lights. This is the VL4000 fixture. We use it as a sun source because it's super sharp. This shot of her tumbling is her on blue screen again. Keeping track, the sun has to be in the same place as where it was on Naomi. And now she's spinning. So the main thing was like, well, she's spinning and she's got the reflection of the planet going past her, and then space. So planet, space, and the sun turning around her. So we made sure when we designed the shot that we could have the sun be in a place that we could spin it that would not become a camera shadow problem. For that shot, she's actually standing on a scaffold deck, wearing the far out rig from Walter Klassen, which is basically a Steadicam harness with a pipe with the camera hard mounted right onto her. We had a 20-foot pipe with an 800-watt joker spinning on this pipe around her, so it's kind of to her left. And then one side of that pipe has the light on it, and the other side of the pipe has a bounce card. So there's 2 things are spinning, so she goes from hot sun to bounce from the planet, hot sun, bounce for the planet. And in that case, we actually took her visor out. So sometimes we'll take the visors out when we don't want the reflections, because sometimes we want the reflections and sometimes we don't. The planet reflection going by her is a VFX element, but the light changing is actually the spinning pipe rig with the joker on it. This moment here, when they grab each other, that was her on wires, and then they actually do make contact. We shot that with them spinning sideways. So they're actually now hanging sideways, spinning like this. And then so they can actually grab each other.
That's
my
fantastic,
God.
right?
Initially, it starts off, she's standing still, and the lights and the rig are moving around her.
Yeah, so Naomi's flying, she's vertical, and the Technocrane's doing that past her, right?
That's number one.
That's number one. And then Lucia, who's spinning, she's vertical like this, and the light's going like that around her, like this.
Yeah.
And then when they finally meet at the end, they're actually
They're
both spinning
both like that,
this.
yeah.
Well, and in that case, the sun is now static in relation to them, but it has to be.
Oh, because they're actually moving. Oh, because they're actually moving. Now the sun can
Now
be
the
in
sun
one
can
place.
be fixed. It started in a set piece, moved to a blue screen stage, and then done in pieces on blue screen. But it had to all match and all look like it's the same sun.
And there's helmets. There's freaking helmets in there.
And they're wearing helmets, and everything I described about the helmets before is going on there with the air system and the microphones and all that. There's points when you have no point of reference other than the stars in the background, right? There's a moment when they grab each other, when you feel the stars kind of go like this, and it's that sense of like they've grabbed each other. And remember that Naomi is still tethered to a wire, so when she grabs Lucia, she kind of goes like this because the tether has stopped. We always use blue screen. We very rarely use green screen, and the reason for that is because the blue spill tends to, if you have it on their clothing, it doesn't look out of place because it just feels like ambient space fill. As much as we can, we use blue screen. The way visual effects, our team figures that stuff out with the stars is really great because the stars oftentimes are our only point of reference of motion.
Alrighty, guys, there you have it. There's your episode with Jeremy Benning, CSC.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right, so yeah. I love stuff like this. I love stuff like this. When I finally catch up to all the episodes, I'm literally like going to spend a whole day binge watching. Just like all kinds of shit. It is going to be quite a day for me. I'm going to have my ice cream, my pizzas, my everything. It's just going to be a pig out day and Expanse binging. Anyway, so yes, love this. If you tuned in while I was watching this, thank you, thank you. I know it's a bit long, but I hope it was worth the watch. So I am going to end off with a fan-made video, one of your favorites, coming up. Okay, so the final video is The Expanse. Drummer and Ashford live as a belter from Zurich 23M. That's the channel, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with this one, of course, so I figure why not end off this reaction video with a tribute to drummer and Ashford. Ashford specifically. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Assistant Director of Operations. We've come a long way since the loading docks on cities. Hey, Molly?
You don't get to call me that anymore, Pampa.
I need you. From what people tell me, you're the one really running things around here.
You know why I
wait
stay
to
with
see
you
Dawes
after
again.
Dawes dragged you out of the gutter.
Keep an eye on me. Dawes wasn't convincing my
Dawes
loyalty.
wanted me back on series, and I wanted to get away.
We need you back home. It's hard to find good people.
No future down his road. I prefer it here. I saw something different in you. You know, I've got your back. I chose you. Done or better, I'm your captain.
No one's going to change that.
Commander Class Ashford requesting permission to
It's
come
amazing, huh? From when we first saw Ashford.
It's a tradition.
Requesting permission to come aboard, Captain.
Mission granted.
Can I say no?
Kamina, you have nothing to worry about from me. I am here to be your first officer, and I have no problem with that. When the victim becomes a victorious, they adopt a uniform to show that they are now one warrior.
Matching outfits, really?
It's a work in progress. The victories can be divided and conquered, but symbols endure. This warship is a symbol. Spin the drum and built by Beltalana. That is something the Inners cannot ignore. Because they know
The
that we
tension
can
of
do
that episode.
And that is just the beginning.
Ashford thinks he should have this command. You believe you should be in command.
Yeah, of course I do, but this is not about experience. It's about politics and perception.
You're probably right. He has his place. You have yours.
I haven't lied to you yet. But my point is that we both have orders to follow.
I work for Fred.
Which means we have to work together.
For the good of the new Belta state. Okay?
Our ways don't work anymore. The ring has changed everything.
You think this act of mercy makes us better?
Beltas, embrace all of you. A small step, but forward.
We are who we are.
Kamina, you are a true belter.
That's what makes us
You
belters.
saved my life because you are willing to die for a greater good.
That's the way the Innas need to see us. I still am.
Well, they will in time. But right now, Kamina, what are you doing? They need to see us as one. I have seen blood spilt my
Hate that
entire
scene.
life. Shut up! And I have spilt enough myself to know that the future, our future, cannot be built on violence.
You sound like a politician.
Oh, I'm just old.
Everyone makes mistakes eventually.
Words to live by. Promise to hold your temper.
I did.
Your optimism makes me feel young again.
They want a head on a spike so they don't look weak.
They are weak. The Innas can no longer police the belt.
Then we had best do it for them.
She cast the right vote. She saw the larger picture unfolding in that airlock, and she made the correct decision, difficult as it was.
Belters have to help each other.
A gift for you.
No one else will.
Beltalada. He was sick. Listen up. And nigh to death. This is your captain. And this is your ship. And bow with me every breath. This is your moment. You may think that you're scared, but you're not. That isn't fear. That's your sharpness. That's your power with wisdom. We are belters. Nothing in the void is foreign to us. The place we go is the place we belong.
As we said.
This is no different. We are the belt. We are strong. We are sharp. And we don't feel fear. This moment belongs to us. For Barcelona.
Will you do me a favor? I was sick and nigh to death, but I vowed with my every breath. Hold on to this until I finish the mission. For go with wisdom ways. When I say.
Very well done. Very well done. One thing's for sure, that it's very clear to me now, more than ever, especially after watching this and finishing episode 10. Drummer's gonna take it very personal. Yeah, it's her reaction more than anybody's reaction. I cannot wait to see how she's gonna take out her vengeance on Marco. And still take into consideration her love for Naomi and not wanting to hurt Naomi's son. Oof. That's some drama I cannot wait to tune into. So, there you have it. That is my collection of videos related to behind the scenes of The Expanse Season 4. And I wish I had more, but I didn't dare try to look for more videos because I didn't want to get spoiled on Season 5. And yeah, so until my episode ranking video comes out, which will be shortly after this one has been posted for you to watch, stay tuned. And if you are new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, best way you can show me is by following those two prompts you see there at the bottom right hand corner of your screen, somewhere around here. Support of this channel is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, everyone. And as I said, stay tuned for my episode ranking video of Season 4. And of course, my reaction to Episode 1 of the 5th season coming right after that part. Not too long from now. I promise, I promise. All right. I'm Asha, tuning out. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos and subscribe. You know you wanna.